Hi everybody. A long time ago I did a sales training course, and the first thing that the sales trainer said to us at the time was that there was a dearth of good salespeople in the country at the moment. I didn't know it at the time, but it became a lifelong mission of mine to try and work out why. It was like a seed was planted in my brain. And it's taken 25, nearly 30 years, but I reckon I've nearly worked it out. And I wanted to share it with you today in the hope that it might add a little bit of value to your world and help us all work on this imbalance. So the first thing, and this is very, very simplistic, so bear with me. I've only got a few minutes before you shut down or shut off. But I think that one of the first things is I don't think we recruit particularly well. Often what will happen is a vacancy will become available unbeknownst or quite quickly to a sales manager or general manager, and they'll come across somebody perhaps that looks like a salesperson and talks like a salesperson. They'll give them a job. As I said, it's very simplistic, but I think that it just highlights the fact that there are a number of things that you should really be doing to improve your recruitment practices. It's developed a lot as an industry over the last 30 or 40 years, and it's just too costly to get it wrong. I'm the sort of person that likes to hire very, very slowly and fire quickly, and unfortunately most other businesses do it the other way around. They hire quickly and then fire slowly, and that just causes too much pain for everybody. The second thing is induction. I don't think we do induction fantastically. I've seen this many times, and I used to do it myself. Here's a set of car keys, here's a phone, here's a customer list, now off you go and sell. Poor salesman's got, or saleswoman's got no chance in that environment. They won't understand the company that they're working for or representing, much less understanding what the customer's needs are and how they apply that to the product or service offer that they're trying to get somebody to buy. So induction planning and program is a critical piece of making sure that we right the imbalance of the dearth of good salespeople. The third thing I think is training. Training isn't one size fits all. I know I'm a sales trainer, but I don't think businesses do this particularly well at all. HR may have a training budget, and if they can tick that box at the end of the year or before the next financial year, they think they've done that job. But that's not the case at all. Training individuals or groups of people needs to be very specific and very strategic. Training's not one size fits all, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Training can be as much as a half-hour training session with a senior executive. That doesn't cost anything, and both individuals and the organisation will get something out of that sort of conversation. The third thing is I don't think we coach particularly well. If you think about an electrician, he's got an apprentice electrician has a foreman looking over his shoulder saying, if you've got a red and a blue wire, don't cross them because you go poof. If you're a graduate accountant, you'll have a finance manager saying, listen, it goes in that column, not that column. But an external salesperson has none of that. They're out on the road, they're by themselves, they're knocking on doors. It's a very, very lonely existence. Got to provide a lot of self-motivation. They don't have any sort of benchmark to context their performance over. So spending time in the field, in front of customers, talking to your customers and talking to your salesperson before, during, and most of all after, to get them to reflect on how they went is a critical component. So I'm looking at these four things many years ago, or a couple of years ago, and going, geez, as a sales manager, I can influence all those, every single one of those. I can't necessarily control them, but I can certainly influence them. So I think the reason that there's a dearth of good sales people is there's a dearth of good people developing salespeople. So a dearth of good sales developers. When I was 6, I was in the kitchen and I wanted to cook chocolate crackles. Mum was with a friend out in the lounge room, and so I got the 5 different ingredients to make chocolate crackles, and I'm in the kitchen, Mum's out in the lounge room, she's calling out. I've done all the measurements of the cocoa, the kofa, the rice bubbles, the icing sugar, and the coconut. So I've got all the ingredients, and I'm stirring furiously, and it's just not working for me. And I'm starting to get really, really frustrated. And I called out to Mum saying, Mum, it's not working. She was busy in a conversation. And eventually she came back in and she just started laughing. I had coconut and Kofa everywhere. Hardly any of it was in the bowl. But what I hadn't done by the book was melt the Kofa. And I think if as a sales manager or a developer of salespeople, I think what you've got to do is you've got to put all these things together to provide the heat, to make sure that all these things work together. Because if you have any holes, we'll continue to have a dearth of good salespeople in this country, and that won't serve anybody. I hope this has served you. Thank you. Bye.